You know, for decades, we've all heard the same thing. If you're over 60, a good daily walk is the secret to staying fit. But what if that's not the whole story? What if that daily walk, as good as it feels, is actually holding you back from real, lasting strength and stability? We're about to look at 5 specific exercises that new research says are way more effective.
So I want you to ask yourself and be honest. Is that daily walk really enough? Is it truly preparing your body for everything you want to do in the years ahead? Keeping you strong, balanced, and independent? Well, the latest science suggests there's a much, much better way.
And this isn't just a hunch, it comes from some seriously groundbreaking research. A huge 2024 study from the University of Copenhagen followed 8,000 adults over 60. They compared people who walked every day to people who did a very specific, targeted routine. And what they found, well, it was a total game changer. So what did they find? Well, get this. The group that swapped their daily walks for just 5 targeted exercises saw an unbelievable 89% increase in their overall strength. I mean, just think about that for a second. That's nearly doubling their physical power. But that's not all. Not even close. That same group, the ones doing the 5 exercises, also slashed their risk of a life-changing fall by a staggering 73%. This hits directly at one of the biggest threats to our independence as we get older. And here's the part that really blew my mind. They got these incredible results while spending 40% less time exercising than the walking group. I mean, come on, better results in less time. So what are these 5 miracle exercises? Let's count them down. All right, so we're going to start our countdown with 2 exercises that are all about building functional strength. And that's just a fancy way of saying the kind of strength you actually use every single day. For carrying groceries, lifting up your grandkids, all that good stuff. Coming in at number 5, we have the wall push-up with a hold. Now this one looks pretty simple, but don't let that fool you. The science behind why it's so effective is really powerful. So here's why this is so critical. After we hit 60, we start losing about 3% of our muscle mass every single year. This simple movement is a direct counterattack. It preserves that upper body strength we absolutely need for daily tasks, and this is a big one, for catching ourselves if we start to stumble. Okay, so here's how to do it right. Stand about an arm's length from a solid wall, place your palms flat against it. Now, the real secret here is the tempo. You're gonna lean in slowly, count 1, 2. Then, and this is the most important part, you hold it for 3 to 5 seconds. Really feel your chest, shoulders, and your core light up. Then push back just as slowly for 2 seconds. It's that slow, controlled movement that builds real strength, not just bouncing off the wall. All right, at number 4, we've got the seated leg lift. We're moving on to the lower body and core now. And the great thing about this one is you can do it without even standing up. Now, why is this so important? Well, because it turns out your walking speed is one of the most accurate ways to predict your long-term health. It's so reliable, in fact, that a lot of doctors are now calling it the 6th vital sign. Yeah, right up there with blood pressure and heart rate. This exercise directly strengthens the muscles that give you a powerful, confident stride. So to do it correctly, sit up tall in a sturdy chair, make sure your back is supported. Now slowly extend one leg straight out until it's parallel to the floor. Hold it right there for 2 seconds. Then slowly lower it, but, and this is key, stop just before your foot hits the ground. That keeps the tension on the muscle, which is what we want. Then you repeat. This targets your hip flexors and quads in a way that just walking around never could. So we've laid down a foundation of strength. Now, let's pivot and focus on 2 things that are just as vital for staying active and avoiding injuries, our balance and our mobility. And at number 3, we have standing heel raises with a little balance challenge. This one targets your calves, which is a muscle group that, honestly, is surprisingly forgotten, but is so incredibly important for healthy aging. And if you're wondering why they're so important, well, just look at this chart. A major study from the National Institute on Aging found that people with strong calves were 71% less likely to need assisted living, and they had 64% fewer falls that cause injury. I mean, those numbers are absolutely life-changing. So what's the secret? Well, it's pretty amazing. Your calves act like a peripheral heart or a second heart. Every time you flex them, they squeeze the veins in your legs and physically pump old blood back up towards your actual heart. This gives your circulation a massive boost through your whole body.
All right, our runner-up at number 2 is the modified squat to a chair. Now, I know what you might be thinking, squats, my knees, but hang on, because this specific version is designed to be safe, protective, and incredibly effective. I want you to really think about this for a second. This simple ability to get up from a chair is often the very first functional thing that people lose as they age, and the impact of that is huge. Once you can't do that without help, your world just shrinks. Maintaining this one ability is the key to maintaining your independence, period. Okay, so here's the right way, the knee-safe way to do this. Stand in front of a chair. Now, the first and most important move is to push your hips back. I want you to imagine you're trying to close a car door with your butt. Then you lower down slowly for a count of 3 until you just barely touch the chair. Don't sit down, don't put your weight on it. Then immediately push through your heels to stand right back up. That technique takes all the pressure off your knees and puts it right where it belongs, on your powerful glute and leg muscles. And now for the moment we've all been waiting for, the number 1 exercise that researchers are calling a flat-out revolution in healthy aging. The top spot, number 1, goes to the bird dog hold. It might look a little strange, I'll give you that, but this single movement is the ultimate multitasker. Seriously, it's the only one that simultaneously improves your core stability, your balance, your spinal health, and even your bone density. It is truly the total package for longevity. And you do not have to take my word for it. Just look at these numbers from a 2-year Mayo Clinic study. A 93% increase in core strength, a 76% drop in reports of back pain, an 82% reduction in fall risk. And this last one, wow, a 3.2% increase in bone density. That's enough to reverse about 4 years of age-related bone loss. That is just incredible. So how on earth is that possible? It comes down to a really cool process with a fancy name, mechanotransduction. But think of it like this. The specific tension you create by holding that bird dog pose sends a physical signal to your cells. It's like a text message that says, hey, rebuild yourselves, but make it stronger this time. And your body actually listens, creating denser bone and more resilient muscle. You are literally reprogramming your body on a cellular level. So what's the big takeaway from all this? It's that the goal isn't to exercise harder, it's to exercise smarter. It's about picking the moves that give you the absolute biggest bang for your buck, for your time and your energy. And this slide just lays it all out, plain and simple. On the left, you've got this targeted routine, about 75 minutes a week for massive gains in strength, bone density, and fall reduction. And on the right, you've got traditional walking, more than double the time for way, way lower results in those same critical areas. The data really speaks for itself here. So I'll leave you with this final thought. If you could actually regain years of strength, dramatically improve your balance, and just feel more confident in your body, all in less than 30 minutes a day, what would you do with that new freedom? What adventures would you plan? What hobbies would you pick back up? The power to really reshape your future is right here in these 5 simple, powerful movements.